What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So we enter the third day of press conferences for E3 2018. The big day, the big day. This is a long one. We just had Square Enix. That was only like 25 minutes, but this is the first big one of the day, really. Ubisoft. There are a few games that I was really interested in, seeing more from Ubisoft. Obviously Beyond Good and Evil 2, that was like their mic drop moment last year. Skull and Bones basically taking the naval combat from Black Flag and making a game out of it. Is it going to be as good as it is? Is it a competitor to Sea of Thieves and stuff like that? Can it, should it prove to be better than that? I honestly think it can. I don't really think it's going to take much to get past Sea of Thieves. Um, Division 2, I need to see something different out of it. Like, is it just more of the same or what? Like, I need to see more out of that. Um, Maybe a little bit of For Honor, because For Honor's been kicking up a little bit of it's sort of picking up a bit of steam over the past couple of months. They've done a good job bringing that game back, so keeping an eye on that. And then probably AC Odyssey, because Assassin's Creed Origins was actually really good. It was like the devs played, like that year off they had. It's like that year they just played Witcher 3 and was like, we can make a game like this. And then that's basically what they've done. So I would like to see some actual gameplay from AC Odyssey, like what's it about, what's it going to be, and things like that. And they pretty much delivered on all of that. They pretty much delivered on all of it, and it was a good conference. It really was. So in very traditional Ubisoft way, they kicked it off with a crazy, weird Just Dance routine with pandas and weird squid ladies and marching bands, and yeah, it's very, very Ubisoft. It was a very typical thing. I just wanted and this year they didn't really have a host. They sort of just did games, brought out devs, and that was it. Um, I was hoping like the host of the show was like in the panda suit, but no, it wasn't. But it always seems to get the crowd hyped. It always seems to, yeah, put a good energy into the thing. It makes you laugh. It's cringy, but it's a good time. It's a little bit funny, so it was fine. It didn't take up too much time. It was a good intro. Um, then we got straight into the big gun. Really, like this was a big thing. Beyond Good and Evil 2, and they had a cinematic trailer which ended in a big sort of like, whoa, like really, like this character. I honestly have not played Beyond Good and Evil, the first one, but I've heard fantastic things about it. And someone I was watching the conference with said like, oh my god, that's the main character from the first one. Like that's the thing. So Jade was the sort of like evil looking so the ship gets captured, and the person who's, sort of captured the ship that we saw in the first one with the monkey and the girl, the captain of that ship, or at least the enforcer that comes out for the ship to capture them, is potentially the main character from the first game. And then they sort of confirm that this Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be a prequel. At least that's what I picked up. That's how they sort of explained it. And yeah, that's a really different way. Like, you name it Beyond Good and Evil 2, but you're actually going back in time, which is interesting. I like that a lot. And hopefully, like, if this one's really, really good, they might make a like sort of a remastered version of Beyond Good and Evil, when that will kick up the hype a little more. I really should check it out because I've heard just nothing but fantastic things. I just struggle a little bit with the old school games, especially the old 3D games. It kind of gets on me a little bit, but well, I'll see if apparently it's really worth it. So I'll have a look. But also they went into some gameplay, and the gameplay looked fantastic. It wasn't well done production wise, because they didn't like have a full screen thing of showing off the gameplay. They're more showing the stage than anything, which is I hate when they do that. It's like, I don't need to see the stage. I don't need to see the devs talking about it. Just have the devs talking and show me the gameplay. That's really what I want to know. But obviously there's stuff that comes out afterwards. Um, but it looks fantastic. Looks very open world. Lots of ways like that. You were flying in ships. You had like a jetpack running around doing different things. And this was just one area. Apparently, it's countless areas in the game. So yeah, it's a very ambitious game. It's a very ambitious game, and I always worry about these games that like really want to just go big or go home. Um, Most of the time they end up going home. But I have faith in them. I have faith, and you could tell the passion on them, and especially when they left the stage and they still had the mics on, and they're like, "We nailed it!" There was like this sort of like just like excitement at like backstage that because they accidentally left the mics on. I love hearing that. I love hearing the passion that they got for it. So it's cool. It's cool. And they're also doing this thing with Hit Record, which is like this sort of collab sort of creative platform that you can you sort of put stuff up on there, and there's like different projects you can do and stuff, and you sort of work together on it. Joseph Gordon-Levitt is doing it, and you can, I think they put up like projects that need to be done on the game, like art wise and music wise and things like that. It's all that sort of stuff, that sort of assets, and you can you put stuff forward and you work with them and you work with people and stuff, and you can actually have your stuff in the game, which is kind of cool. There's definitely some things out about it. Like they've been hearing that there's like a sort of $50,000 pot that it's all going to be pulled from. It would be like a commission, I'd imagine. You are going to get paid if you get chosen. That's the thing. Like your stuff has to get chosen. Your stuff has to be selected to be put in the game before you get any money or anything like that. But I mean, they said like if you're a professional or if you're someone who just really loves the game, and even an amateur who's like you're just really good at drawing, or you're really good at painting, or you're really good at doing stuff. I don't know. It's probably having a good, go and have a look at it. If you want to get your stuff in the game, go have a look. So it's like the Space Monkey program. Have a look that up. Hit Record. I'm sure they've got stuff too. Um, I'm nowhere near good enough to put stuff like that up there, so that's not for me. But hey, if you are into that stuff, have a look. It was a cool thing. It was a cool thing. I think it's gonna be a mess. I think it's gonna be very like I hope their sort of screening process is very good, because they're gonna get a lot of interesting pictures and interesting things, I'm sure. So I feel sorry for the people that have to sift through it all. But I mean, hopefully some good stuff comes out of it. Hopefully this is a thing that involving the community in games is always a good thing. It's always a good thing. Then Rainbow Six came out, basically talked about how the game has been going. This is a game that's really made a big comeback. Like they had a pretty iffy start, like it wasn't all that good, but they have just come stride for stride ever since, and they're actually really, really good now. It's really, really good now. They talked about esports. I think they talked about a couple new operators and stuff like that. It's more just like hey, we're still going, we're still, progressing, things like that. It's good. I like how Ubisoft is stuck with, both Rainbow Six Siege and For Honor, and really just like, okay, we had a rough start, we've had a bit of an issues and stuff like that. Let's work them out, and let's try and bring them back in. And they've used, content creators well. They've used, streamers, things like that, like just to bring the player base back in again. So I give props to Ubisoft for that. I really do, because a lot of different publishers would probably cut bait. They would cut bait with those games and just say, "Oh, it's a done deal," and we'll just push it to the side and be done with it. Like honestly, with EA and all that, with Battlefront 2, I think they had to show it this year, but I do not think we'll see anything else again. Maybe until Battlefront 3. So, then the weird Trials guy, the Trials dev comes out riding a bike. He's got the full on sort of like Daredevil gear on, sort of rides the bike out, drops the bike in front of the stage, walks up on the stage, crashes into the like the sort of like platform thing, which is, it's all clearly staged. It was all very clearly staged. They sort of, the thing was like Trials is all about getting up, crashing and getting back up again, spectacularly and all that. Yeah, they just got a new Trials game coming. It's pretty on the rig, these Trials games. I'm not really into them. they do look cool to watch. Like I do watch a couple, sometimes, especially the crazy like crashes and all that. And they did do a good crash montage. They had a guy that YouTuber that does some stuff for them come out. He's did the tutorials and stuff for the game, and all that. Yeah. So Trials Rising, I think February 19th. That's going to come out next year. That's a bad spot, man. I would seriously think of maybe either delaying it or bringing it early because you do not want to be in that February spot, especially not around the 19th. You've got, too many games, way too many games. Like, you look between late January to February, March, like even April, it is going to just be chocker full of games. That start of 2019 is going to be off the chain in games. It's insane. Um, so yeah, a new Trials game. It's Trials. If you love it, you'll like it. If you don't, then you'll pass. Um, but the show was cool. Division 2. Like I said, I wanted to see a little more out of them. Like, show me something that is gonna make me interested in playing this game. You know, like stuff that I'm like, am I gonna be like last time where I basically played it for a week or two and I was done with it and I've never gone back? Like, you're gonna have to show me that this game is worth it, and if it's not just generic, as I've kind of felt like the first one was. It was just another average third-person shooter, and yeah. I still don't know about it, eh? Like they announced raids. There's a raid thing you can go and do 8-player raids, so very similar to like Destiny, sort of thing. I imagine it's gonna be very bullet spongy things. Like when I hear raids for an IP that's based in real life things, where it's not fantasy, it's not magic, it's not nothing. So you're not gonna have giant monsters. You don't like when you're fighting giant monsters, right? Like when it's massive, having massive health pools, you understand that it works in your mind. But when you just got a guy with a big gun with a bit of armor on or something, it doesn't really like compute. It's like, man, I'm putting all these bullets into him, and he's like at quarter health. Like it just doesn't click. So I'm a bit worried about that. I'm a little bit worried about that. They showed a couple of cinematic stuff. They showed they did do some gameplay stuff at the end of the thing as well, which was all right. They did a couple missions. They did a mission and stuff. It was okay. I think there's a clan system coming in it too. They got different modes and all that. I imagine they'll probably bring that survival mode back, which is a bit like a battle royale in a way, but it's got a bit of a PvE element to it. I would not be surprised if an actual full-on battle royale comes out of Division. I think that's probably something they need to do. They showed a roadmap, which is all free content that's coming out as well, which is fantastic. I really love that shit. Like big content updates like that. You don't want to split your player base, especially when like later on your player base starts to dwindle down. So yeah, that was good. I was good on that, but I'm still a little. I need to see a little more out of it. I need to see more out of it. I'll probably play the beta and stuff and go from there. But I don't know. I don't know. Mario Rabbids. They did a sort of cool sort of performance. They had a band come out and they played some music with the trailer and stuff. I love that stuff. Like I loved it when PlayStation did it. I think a year ago, maybe two. It's new DLC for Mario Rabbids. The Donkey Kong stuff. We knew this was coming. We'd seen it before. 26th of the 6th. 26th of June. So that's cool. Skull and Bones. Another one that I really wanted to have a look at. I love the ship combat in Black Flag, and even a little bit in Assassin's Creed 3, which kind of really kicked that off because that was really the only really good thing in Assassin's Creed 3. The game looks really beautiful. It looks amazing. It looks fantastic. They showed a little bit of the off the boat stuff, the customization. You're like sort of in a port and you're you sort of get your mission and stuff. I don't know if it's gonna be as like comprehensive as what Sea of Thieves is, where you actually can stop on any island, walk around, do stuff, all the rest of it. Well, do stuff. I mean, like you make up your own fun sort of thing, or you collect stuff. The combat looked amazing, looked really cool. Different ship types, different sort of ship roles too. Like you had tanky ones, you had fast ones, you had, ones that are good for ramming, ones that had like shotgun cannons, stuff like that looked really cool. They had ways like you gotta do these missions where you can camouflage yourself to get around like forts and all that, because the forts will rip you to pieces. Um, it looked good. They said it's a shared world. So again, this shared world thing seems to be very popular this E3. You'll see other players out there, I'm assuming. They did say that there are enemies, AI enemies that come out that you will need to team up with other people to take on, because there's just too much firepower coming out of these ships. Which I like. I think that's what Sea of Thieves needs. I think Sea of Thieves really needs that, AI crews that are just so powerful that one ship cannot take them down. You're gonna have to use the other people in the area to do that. So it's like world bosses. And I do think that is coming for Sea of Thieves. I think I there was those DLCs that come out. I've not paid attention to Sea of Thieves in a long time. But yeah, it had a lot of stuff like that. The sounds, the aesthetic, the look of it, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. They had showed a little bit of ship customization. I dug it. I dug it a lot. There's a beta coming out too. You guys sign up online and stuff. I might be into Skull and Bones. I might be into Skull and Bones. It looks really good. I don't know if there's gonna be story stuff. I don't know anything about that, but yeah, I dug it. Transference, that's that Elijah Wood sort of game that's coming out, a bit of a thriller, sort of psychological one. That's just not for me. That's just not for me. I will not play it. I don't like scary games. I hate them. Mm-mm. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Nope, it's not happening. For those of you who do want it, fall 2018, so it's coming out this year. I mean, it looks like a crazy. I'll watch people play it, but I ain't playing it myself. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Then we got the sort of toy game, space game, Starlink. That's the one where you got your controller and you have the toy on top and you can stick different weapons on it and all that, and it looks a little bit like a Pixar movie and stuff. I remember I think it was last year they announced this and they showed the trailer, and it was like a space game and it was a little bit like No Man's Sky, but it actually looks like it had content and combat and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, like maybe. And then they showed the toys. I was like, the big thing I guess from that one was that they are having Star Fox. Star Fox is gonna have one, and I was like, I may just buy the Star Fox ship just for that. Like, I'm not gonna play it, but I just want the ship. Because so Star Fox is only for Nintendo Switch. So if you want the Star Fox one, you have to buy the Nintendo Switch one. That's how Nintendo gave up Star Fox for it. They had Miyamoto in the audience. He didn't say really anything. It was like it was sort of like you sort of went up to him, gave him his thing, and then sort of ushered him into the back, and that was it. There wasn't much. It wasn't like Mario last year or anything like that. Yeah, I mean, the game, I don't know, like, I haven't seen it in its, like, in it, working, and I don't want to deal with toy shit and all the rest of it. That's not my thing, so I'd buy the Star Fox one, but that'd be it, and I'd just stick it on my shelf, and that would be done. Like, I wouldn't play the game. So yeah, like, it's just not for me. It's not for me. It's not my. It's a kid thing by the looks of it. It's them going after kid stuff. So fair enough. That's coming out on all the consoles, so PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, but not PC, because you need the whole like reading thing. So I don't think it's a big loss. Not for me personally. Then For Honor had a thing. They sort of announced a big expansion that's coming. Basically China is joining the fray. Four new warriors, four new sort of fighter types. They all look really cool. They look there's sort of like a monk looking one. There's a big guy with a spear. There's this girl with these like sort of hook blades that the takedown was badass when they showed one. And then just a badass dude with a sword. I'm seriously thinking back into For Honor. I'm seriously thinking getting back into For Honor. It's intriguing me, and they've also announced a new mode, which is something that we've been asking for a while, which is a Castle Siege mode. Which is pretty cool. 4v4 Castle Siege mode. Obviously one trying to get in, one defending. It looks cool. It looks very cool. I haven't seen any actual gameplay of it yet, but it's a mode that we've been wanting for a while, because that's sort of the thing with For Honor a little bit, is that the modes are a little bit lacking in places. The modes are a little bit lacking in places, so this is a good step for them. And they have stuck with For Honor. Again, like I said with Rainbow Six Siege, they have stuck with For Honor. They've used streamers and stuff well. They're getting people back into the game. Good on them. Good on them. I'm happy for them. Crew 2. I mean, it's a car game. It's crazy shit. Fly, ride, sail, everything. Do whatever you want. They announced the beta. Beta's coming out on the 21st. Open beta. Basically, hey, play our game, and then you might buy it. That sort of beta. It's not. I don't think it really. When you're having a beta on the 21st and your game's coming out on the 29th, you're not tweaking much. There isn't much you can do at that point. The game is pretty much done, and you're shipping it. There's not much you can just sort of like, oh, I gotta redo this. It's not happening. They test servers. That's about it. That's pretty much all it's for. If you're into the crew stuff, that's cool, but I'm not. That's not for me. Then the last one, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We knew this was coming, and I'm shocked we hadn't seen any Odyssey stuff through the entire E3. I think they tried to Ubisoft really wanted to keep that to themselves. You're basically playing look like a grandchild, and you got to pick either a male or a female character. I gotta say, the female character looks pretty cool. I like her, Cassandra. She looks awesome. You're basically like the grandson or granddaughter of Leonidas, from Sparta, which is pretty cool. And you do like the Spartan kick and everything, and you have like a kind of a magical weapon, and they're definitely taking a lot of influences now, like from Witcher 3. It even looked a little bit like the new God of War and all that, but not quite. It always looks like a little bit of a poor man's version of those games. But that's not a bad thing. Like AC Origins was like that for Witcher. Like it's not a bad thing. The Greek stuff does interest me a little bit. Like they showed off a couple of places. Apparently the naval stuff is really interesting. Like you can go off and explore uncharted islands and stuff. So it's like bringing in a little bit more of the Black Flag stuff now too. I'm actually interested in an Assassin's Creed game. Like Origins I was skeptical of until I saw it, then I played it. This one I'm actually thinking like I might get this day one sort of thing. Obviously, we'll have to see a little more, see if it's buggy as hell, because a lot of Assassin's Creed games come out and are buggy as hell. But I like the makeup of it. I am a little bit skeptical that they're now back to making Assassin's Creed games over and over again. Right after the other. But if they have a good formula now, and I guess they'll use that formula till it just dies out and everyone gets sick of them again. But might as well do it while it's good might as well do it while it's good now. You might as well play it while it's good now, and then we'll figure it out later. But I liked how you could choose your characters. There's now like conversation choices now too. Looked like a little bit of romancing stuff as well, so that's good. I like that. I like how they're going a little bit BioWare in a way. Sort of making those choices, going after. Maybe you'll have different options. It's a little bit like BioWare, a little bit like Witcher type thing. Maybe you'll have love choices throughout the game, and you can go after your favorite one sort of thing. Probably not like BioWare where you just like shower them with gifts until they like you, but you probably have to pick the right things to say and stuff. But I don't know. It looks good. It does look good. I will say some of the cutscenes looked a little bit like the lips didn't quite match up. It was a little bit off in places, but I don't know. I'm actually kind of interested in Assassin's Creed. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. I'll probably get into that. I really will. Yeah. So, Ubisoft. I thought it was actually a pretty good conference. It was actually really good. They had some good hype at the start with Beyond Good and Evil 2. That game looks amazing. Apparently they're gonna have some demos and stuff at E3, behind closed doors stuff. So hopefully we get some information out after that, sort of explaining, what this game pretty much will be. I've got an idea, but we'll see. And they had some good stuff sort of scattered throughout. It was a good, solid, interesting conference. Like, I was engaged all the way through. There wasn't too much like the Rainbow Six, like, esports stuff. I always sort of phase out through esports stuff. Trials is Trials, but it was funny. Transference is not for me, but I can see people like who really like those sort of mind-bending games. They'll be into it, so that's a thing. And then obviously like Crew 2, they had to show Crew 2 because it's coming out. So no, I was quite happy with Ubisoft. It was actually really good. Kind of like we just had Square Enix, but it was a good kind of start to the big stuff today. So we'll see how the rest of the day goes. But yeah, I'm liking where Ubisoft is right now. We just got to see when the games come out. That's the big thing too. But yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. We are still all over E3. We're doing, picking out and choosing games, different things like that. I did I got kind of caught up in Babylon's Fall, the new game coming out of Square Enix today. I put a video up about that. We sort of analyzed the trailer and trying to figure out what exactly this game's going to be. From Platinum, looks sweet. If it's what I think it might be, I'd be all over that shit so fast. It'd be very, very cool. So we've got a whole bunch of videos up about E3, different games that have come out, the actual conferences themselves. So go on the channel, have a look around, see what you like. If you do like, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. We're a bit of a small channel. We're just trying to grow, just trying to get there. And yeah. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. Peace. Bye.